Good morning, my unconventional conventionalists, and welcome to the first Sunday sermon of 2025. Happy New Year to you all. Always good to start with a brew, and we're also starting today with a lot of snow. Been a while. I think my son was probably only a couple of months old last time it snowed as heavy as it has today. Normally Blackpool, we don't really get a lot of it, probably because of the salt content in the air and being so close to the sea. So it is really sticking out there. The cats haven't, but only a couple of the cats have been brave enough to have a quick run out in it. So they'll have cold little ducksies later. But anyway, there we go. So in the news, we apparently, the Church of England is picking a new Archbishop of Canterbury. Justin Welby, little snotty-nosed piece of detritus as he is, has decided to step down over controversy in the Church of England. Controversy, there always controversy with churches, no matter what bloody religion it is. And so apparently they're going to pick a new one. And they have meetings and a committee to decide on a short list, and then they decide on that one, and then I think they have to get the king to agree to the appointment. As we know from history, King and Queen have generally been in charge of the final decision of the Archbishop of Canterbury, and normally they used to pick close friends. William I had his brother Odo of Bayeux as Archbishop, and obviously we all know Henry II chose what's his name? Thomas Becket. Thomas Becket when he was king. Obviously, then he had him cut up to pieces by 3 drunken knights, and that became the cult of St. Thomas. So in tradition of that kind of thing, you would have thought that Charles, and all the controversy that goes with the Church of England, and all the controversy with his family at the moment, he'd be choosing Prince Andrew to be the next Archbishop of Canterbury. You know, got to keep the old spirit of it all going, as they say. Anyway. Little pussycat. So, it's 2025, and as always, at the start of a new year, we're always reminded of the decades that have gone before. And obviously, films, music, sporting events. And just looking at the other night at some films. I mean, like Jaws. Jaws, one of the first big summer blockbusters. That's 50 years old this year. 50 years since the great shark terrorised the waters of Amityville. Is it Amityville or just Amity Island? Amity Island. Amityville somewhere else. 40 years. I mean, we watched... Sorry, fuzzy ball for the cat. There you go. They do chase balls as well as dogs. 40 years. We watched one, Andy and I watched one last night called Silver Bullet. A Stephen King adaptation. Probably one of the better ones. Of his book Cycle of the Werewolf. That starred a very young Corey Haim before he became, more famous as from Lost Boys. And other films were like Day of the Dead. That's 40 years old. And there's Fright Night. That's 40 years old. Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Freddy came back. And Jason was back. Jason of Friday the 13th fame. He was back for a 5th time. So there you go. Anyway, 30 years ago, a bit more appropriate for sort of my age, 1995, we went to see quite a few films at the cinema. Went to see Toy Story, of course. That was a big hit that year. We went to see Apollo 13 as well. I love that film. I can watch that over and over again. Love it. Doesn't matter what happened with it, what happens, it's just a great film. Remember going to see it in the cinema, and we came out afterwards, and my mum and dad were like, "So what did you think of that?" I was like, "It's a really good film, I really enjoyed it." And my brother was like, "That was boring, where was the aliens?" It's a true story. There's no aliens involved in there, I'm afraid. So there you you go. Yeah, so 30 years since all those films came out. Well, since Toy Story and Apollo 13 came out. There were some others. Stupid me, forgot to write them down. I'm not very good at planning things, unfortunately. And there you go. And that's why I'm having trouble at the moment. The week ahead is a bit up in the air now, I think, because of the snow. And obviously it depends on how bad it's going to get and if we can manoeuvre ourselves. We have got coming up next week my grandma, who I mentioned obviously last week. Sounded like a cat. Killing another cat. Yeah, my grandma would have been 80. Hang on, let me think about this. 87 next week, if she was still here. God bless her. One of the cats is getting his knackers nicked. And that's what they are doing now, actually. Scrapping with each other. And yes, and hopefully, obviously, I can start getting my new video project on the go next week. Because it's just, it's getting comfy. A bit comfy on the couch today, I have to admit, rather than sitting on that hard chair like I normally do. Yeah, so anyway, what I have been doing is watching Unsolved Mysteries. It was a programme, first aired in like 89, I think it was, 1989. Something I used to watch with my grandma and granddad at their house. I used to go around on Saturdays. And yeah, you know, it's quite shocking, 1989, and some of the mysteries that still haven't been solved. I mean, a lot of them are obviously, you know, silly mysteries like, you know, crop circles, aliens. What was on last? Oh, the Loch Ness Monster, or a relative of it in some, I can't remember which lake it was, in Canada, or British Columbia, to be more precise. And they show this video, and I'm like, that's either a sea lion, or a very, very cold sea lion. They do prefer warmer climates, obviously. Or it's, I think they said it was possibly a beaver. And it's like, guy was like arguing the toss that, well, it can't be a beaver, because when I filmed it, its head was further out the water than what I bet a beaver keeps its head close to the water. It's a camera from 30, I think it's about 10 or 20 miles away from it. So, what are you talking? How can you tell? I mean, it's not like technology, obviously, back in those days was not, you know, was up to date as it is now, obviously. So, how we can say that is was a bit like, I think you're kidding yourself there, pal. So, yeah, watching that. Been a lot of strange ones where murders happen, and obviously they're still trying to find the murderer. Lots of people are still missing. It's quite strange. I have all these appeals. I looked on, I think it was Unsolved Mysteries Wiki, was a website I found to look it up, and a lot of people have been, you know, they've been on Unsolved Mysteries, they've been on other sort of those kind of programs where, you know, unsolved crime programs. What are they doing? And they're still missing. It's quite strange, really. After all these years, that they've just never found them, and obviously they've disappeared. They could have obviously passed away, so it's harder to obviously find that person, especially if there's no record of them being. Bear with me 1 second. And we're back. That's avoided my disaster of cat fur going everywhere. So where were we? Yes, so the you know, people have obviously, if they've gone missing or had their names changed, and obviously if they've passed away, it's harder to find. It'll be harder to find them, especially if there's no link. Because I think a couple of people were like babies. They were kidnapped. Obviously, they would have had a name, but would have been called something different by someone else straight away. They wouldn't know what their original name was if they'd been kidnapped and then found by someone else. So it's quite strange to think that so many people go missing. I mean, this is America, so it's thousands of people, probably millions could go missing. And it's so vast, you probably wouldn't realise, wouldn't know. yeah, so it's been good watching that. Old Robert Stack ones. It's by, apparently I was looking up at it, it's by Film Rise. Now I think they sort of re-edited them and everything, and it's, you can't really follow, not all of them are, they're not in sync or in order as it were, so you keep getting a lot of going back and forth to, you know, like get updates on ones that you know have already been solved. So I think they didn't really particularly edit it very well, or to find out, you know, so you can like watch it in a sort of, alright, that's been solved, and then 2 weeks later, 2 episodes later, you'll get a, oh, here's an update on this one. It's like, well, we already know what happened in that one. So there you go. But anyway, more stuff from my grandma's. I found another little Bible companion here. Probably just little things: joy, peace, forgiveness. If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat. Well, feed someone if they're my enemy, am I? Well, inspiration. Here we are. Finally, brethren, what things are true. I don't know. Life affirming stuff, isn't it? I suppose. Got the 10 Commandments in here. Oh no, it's not the actual 10 Commandments, it's just telling you about it, I think. Oh no, we do have the Lord's 10 Commandments. You shall have no other gods than obviously the main top man, apparently. It's kind of strange, isn't it? Because for years we've had, well, not we, but for years they had the Greek gods and the Roman gods. It seems very bizarre that just all of a sudden they'd be like, oh, well, them ones have been praying. Yeah, you're right, yeah. They're not important anymore. I don't know, it seems very strange how you sort of see why people had wars and stuff over it. Well, not war, well, some were wars, weren't they? Yeah, not use the Lord's name in vain. Said Jesus Christ. You should not covet your neighbour's house, or his wife, or his manservant. Why would you covet someone's manservant? That seems a bit... He's doing a better job than mine. I love him. Nor his maidservant, or his ox, nor his donkey. Don't think any of my neighbours have donkeys, I'll be honest, or oxes, or manservants, to be perfectly honest with you. But there we go. For yours is the kingdom. That's what 4 hours. Right, so we've got Lord's Prayer here. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. I thought for ours is the kingdom, not for yours. Oh, I don't know. Change things all the time, don't we, these days? But there we go. That's another little Bible companion there. Probably bought in America. Does it have a publishing thing? All scripture taken from the King James version. King James, of course. Yeah. The first Scottish King of England. So, he did that. No, I'm waffling again. I know. Anyway, we'll leave it there, I think. I've not got anything else to say, but just a little word to help you all out there in this bleak weather while you enjoy the white and wonderful crisp snow. Please take care and not eat the yellow snow. May God be with you, and God save England. Bye.